Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Welcome to part 2 of our Man with the Iron Fists double feature that we're doing for Martial Arts Madness Month. And if I sound a little agitated in this review, it has nothing to do with the movie. It's just that, my mouse died. I can't get it to work, and I can't even fucking edit the video for like the first review that I did, like the Man with the Iron Fist review. And I get in my car. It's fucking rush hour. I drive to the electronics store near my house, and they're closed. They're closed, and it's like, well, fuck, this is bullshit. And then there's the fucking thing with my dog where she just plays this new game with me where she has to pick up every piece of like inedible garbage, makes me chase her around the backyard to get her to fucking drop it, and sometimes she eats it, and I worry sick, if she's gonna get sick or whatever, and it's just driving me up the wall. And even like tonight, she did that bullshit with me to the bullshit where I couldn't even finish watching this movie. I had to take a break and watch like cute animal videos, like especially pet monkeys, capuchin monkeys. I really enjoy. To relieve stress, I watch capuchin pet monkey videos, which my favorite channel is for that is Monkey Boo and like Misty Flower, which if you're a fan of capuchin monkeys, check out those channels. So now that I calmed down a bit, I finished watching this movie, and it was not as bad as a lot of people made it out to be. Like, people trashed this book when it first came out, not book, sorry, movie review, sorry, movie that we're talking about, which is The Man with the Iron Fist 2, which came out 2015, 3 years after the first one. It's an hour and 30 minutes. It's directed by Roel Reine, or aka Johnny Rebel, or John Rebel, not Johnny Rebel, sorry. Apparently he for some of his movies, he calls himself John Rebel. Not Johnny Rebel, the racist, like, country western singer. John Rebel. And he's the owner of Rebel Films, where he directs and puts out, like, shitty sequels to famous movies and put them out straight to DVD. Which, this movie is another straight-to-DVD movie. It stars RZA as Thaddeus Henry Smith, who's one of 3 actors who returned to do this movie. The other 2 are the Gemini Killers, who are also played by their actors, which I was surprised that there were cameos by the Gemini Killers, which were some of my favorite characters. I really like that duo from the first movie, which, it was nice to see them again. And obviously RZA plays Thaddeus Henry Smith. You have Dustin Nguyen plays Lee Kong, who, for people who don't know him, I honestly only ever seen him in the TV show V.I.P, which was like a Pamela Anderson TV show back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was like an action comedy show with lots of fan service, where as a kid, I may or not have whacked off to fucking Pamela Anderson's big titties, where there's like an episode with Ice-T where her and another hot chick that's part of VIP, which is Valerie Irons Protection Services, does like a lesbian striptease in front of like Ice-T, which was like one of the hottest episodes ever. Yeah, so he's from that show, and he apparently is a Vietnamese actor, and he's done like a bunch of Vietnamese action movies and Taiwan action movies. He was also in that old TV show with Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street. And other actors, you have Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa as Mayor Zhang, who you'll know from Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat movie, and he was in a bunch of other stuff. He was in this really shitty Albert Pune, was it Albert Pune movie, Nemesis? Which, check out that piece of shit. I paid like $40 for this fucking movie that had like this like Deus Ex like cyberpunk cover, and then like it was not cyberpunk at all. Other than there were cyborgs, but it was like aesthetically it wasn't. You got Carl Ning as Master Ho, Pim Bubear as Innocence, Eugenia Yon as Ani, who she was in another basically straight to DVD kung fu movie, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2, and the other cast is basically the rest of the cast is basically a bunch of Taiwan actors, because this movie was filmed in Taiwan. Like, you have like a bunch of actors from Only God Forgives. Like, the guy who plays Bolo was one of the cops, and the other guy, Jang something, who was the grieving father in the beginning of the movie, and does this badass thing during the final battle where like he takes like dynamite and chases a bunch of bad guys into this house, and you think he's gonna kamikaze himself with the dynamite. No, he just leaves it in there and runs out, and there's like a big explosion behind him. He was the guy who was pimping his daughters in the Only God Forgives movie, and had his like arm cut off by the one like Taiwan cop, that like Ryan Gosling's crime family in that movie was trying to kill, which he was pretty good in the movie. I thought I was surprised to see that he was like fluent in English. So that was cool. So the story for this movie is Thaddeus, despite the fact that he vowed to protect Jungle Village, leaves Jungle Village, right? And before that, we get like a fucking flashback scene where the Gemini killers fight some guy named like Lord Ku or whatever. What was his name? Lord Pai. Who tried to steal some golden nectar from the Wu Chi temple, and he was defeated by the Gemini killers, and that was like 10 years ago. Thaddeus is on his way to Wu Chi temple when he is attacked by members of the Lion clan and the brother of the Silver Lion, which I thought that was kind of dumb, but he defeats them. But like ends up getting seriously injured and falls into the river, ends up washing the shore of this village called, I think it was called Suchi, I can't remember, which is like directly underneath the mountain of Wuchi Temple, right? And this mining village, which they have a silver mine, is under the oppression of this guy named Master Ho, who the only reason why they like work for this guy is because there's been like these murders of young girls where they have their souls their souls sucked out. I wonder who did that. I wonder like if there was a member of the cast that played another role where he would suck out people's souls. I wonder. And they're supposed to protect the village and like find the killer of the young girls who are getting their souls sucked out. But they're oppressing people, killing the miners who run away, don't do their jobs well enough. So Liu Kang and his brother are in charge of this resistance. There's this thing called Fight Court, where if you have a disagreement with Master Ho, you can have a fight. Li Kang's brother wins a fight against one of his top men, and they kill his brother. And Li Kang is was preaching patience with the other miners, but he's decided, fuck it, let's fight back. Li Kang's daughter finds Thaddeus, washed up on the shore. They take care of him. He forges weapons for Lee Kung. They fight. Like Lee Kung fights a duel with Master Ho, wins, but it's interrupted, and like him and Thaddeus get locked up in jail. They get rescued by Mayor Zhang, right? Who's in a wheelchair throughout the movie. Turns out his legs were cut off. Rescues them with a couple of the other guys. Thaddeus makes new legs for him. So Mayor Zhang becomes the man with the iron legs, and they all have this cool final battle at the end where there's a remix of Ecstasy of Gold. Who's the guy? Not Sergio Leone. Who's the guy who does the music for Sergio Leone movies? Oh fuck! Let me pause and double check. Sorry. There's a remix of Ecstasy of Gold with Ennio, which is an Ennio Morricone song from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which was pretty cool. It wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty cool. And there's also they replay a lot of the music from the first movie, which RZA did the music. So I'm going to get into spoilers. So I'm just going to wrap this up before I go into spoilers. So while this movie feels a lot cheaper than the first movie, and there's not as good as there isn't as good fight scenes, and I wouldn't say the fight scenes were bad in this movie. It's just they weren't shot the greatest, and there wasn't as good cinematography and lighting and all that stuff. Overall, I enjoyed the movie and the story of our characters and the acting. I'm giving this movie, though it has its problems, I'm giving it 6 out of 10. I think if you're a fan of these kind of movies and you're a fan of the actors, you'll probably enjoy this movie, right? So I'm going to go into spoilers. So I was expecting Cary-Hiroyuki and Tagawa to be the villain of this movie. But when he goes to rescue Thaddeus and Lee Kung, I was and you find out that he has no legs. You just see him sitting in the wheelchair throughout the movie, so you just think, oh, whatever, right? It wasn't until the end where you near the end where you find out, oh, he has no legs. So obviously he's not gonna be the villain. And there was the whole thing where he gets the new legs and he has trouble. He can't walk with them because it's gonna take him time. Turns out he was the killer all along, and that he's the Lord Pie guy, and he was he's Master Ho is his underling, and that's why throughout the movie he was telling people, hey, let's go along with Master Ho. We don't want to get destroyed, blah blah blah. Right, and I forgot to mention that the Wuchi Temple fights alongside our characters at the end, and it turns out that they cut the one dude's legs off because they weren't allowed to kill him because he has royal blood. Yeah, and there's also the thing where there's golden nectar. They were really in the fucking mines because the mines are underneath the mountain, or part of the mountain of Wuchi Temple, and there's there's a leak where they can get at the water source of the golden nectar, right? Which replenishes people's chi and makes them live forever. So that's the goal of our characters, right? So I don't know. I enjoyed the final fight scene, where they have this our two main characters fights Major Zhang, and then they fight underwater, and then Thaddeus drops in and crushes the dude's head underwater, and it was pretty cool. Also, I forgot to mention there's lots of gore and dismemberments, head rolling. There's scenes in this movie that straight out remind me of that 2006 Rambo movie. I think it was 2006. Let me double check. Rambo, which also I think was shot in Thailand or Vietnam. Like I would know the difference. Yeah, 2008, my bad. Like, it reminded me of that. Where was that movie shot? Film location. Let's double check. Let's fuck it. It was shot in Chiang Mai, Thailand, as well in Mexico and the United States and Arizona, California. So it was shot in Thailand as well. Okay, because like some of the, some of the locations kind of remind me of Thailand. So, which not that I know a lot about Thailand. I've only ever seen Thailand in like the kickboxer movies and shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was gonna be garbage, and it turned out to be all right. I think those people, those critics that trashed this movie were probably just jumping on the bandwagon and like they weren't actual fans of kung fu movie. They just saw the first Man with the Iron Fist movie and they were like, oh, wow, this is cool. It's an homage to this old thing I'm not a fan of or some bullshit. You know how critics can fucking be. They're the fucking bandwagoners. They'll suck the dick of the hottest trend movie, especially if it's like politically correct or whatever. You know how it is. Like, there were so many like when like the fucking Ghostbusters movie came out. There were so many critics that I thought were kind of edgy. That when that movie came out, like just sucked the dick of it, and it's like, what the fuck? I thought you were cool. This is bullshit. Oh well, guys, that's all I have to say for this review. I can't start editing it till tomorrow when I have to go back to the store and to buy the new mouse because technology nowadays is a piece of shit, and they purposely make it not last long, so you have to buy a new one every couple months. Which I've only had this fucking mouse for like a year, and it's like not even a year. Like I think I bought it like I bought it last year, but it's like for fuck's sakes, I've never had I never had to buy a new mouse. The only time I ever had to buy a new mouse was when I bought a new fucking computer. I've never had to replace this shit. Fuck's sake, it's fucking bullshit. Alright guys, bye. My last review for March Martial Art Madness Month, I said it before, but it's going to be the Chow Yun Fat movie, directed by Zhang Yimou, Curse of the Golden Flower. Look forward to that.